right, so Shalom, all praise, honor, and glory going to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Krakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to all you Akim that's out there pushing this truth with all honesty and sincerity by way of the highways and byways, going out on the streets teaching and preaching, and also by way of the internet. Shalom to you, very few sisters, you very few Akwaf that's out there listening and learning. Going back to the names, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father name, not Allah, not God. All right, not Jehovah. His name is Yahweh. All right, which means he is or he exists. Bahashem means coming in the name. What the world ignorantly calls JC or Jesus Christ. His name isn't Jesus Christ. It's not Yeshua. It's not Yeshua or Yehoshua. It's not Yeshaya. It's not Ushaya. All right, it's not Jesus. It's not none of that. All right, his name is Yahweh Shai, all right, which means he saves or he delivers. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. This is your brother Nayap, and I'm back with another one. This one is a sit down today outside. Though it may look sunny, that's just the light. I don't even know where that light's coming from because it looks absolutely terrible outside. All right, I just came from the store to see how bad it actually was. It's cold, but it's raining pretty bad, and it's gonna get worse. So I figure I'll just go ahead and be in today. Um, I was just I already made a lesson. I went into some archaeology, all right, of the Israelites and the Black Pentecost, so-called Black Pentecost, which was nothing but Israelites um from these different areas where they were scattered, and who was participating, all right, in the high holy days. All right, but I was showing the coins, the saltery, the all kinds of things. But this one I'm just going off the dome. I don't have no precepts. Just like the last one, I don't really have no precepts or anything like that in mind. Um, so I'm gonna try to rap with y'all until about a good, 9 o'clock. All right, so I'm trying to rap with y'all for about until like 9 o'clock. But one of the things that I do want to do, all right, because I got another device on me, is go into this news article that I had ended up seeing, but I don't know if I had kept it, which of course I didn't. Of course. I'm gonna see if I can re-find this article. Uh, but it's a lot of things happening, man. You know, every day. All right, right now I'm just on the regular old news, just looking at some news things and stuff like that. Um, Let me see. All right, because we coming into the times of Second Esdras, the 15th and 16th chapter, Isaiah the 32nd chapter, Isaiah 4. It's all these things is happening. All right. Let me see. This one says billionaire Ukraine strikes disrupt power and heating to major cities. Hundreds missing as migrant boat sinks. They keep on hitting them migrant boats. All right. What else they got? It was talking about how Elon spent his money. I remember seeing that. Oh, here it go. Here it go. I think I found it, y'all. The article. I think I found it. Snap delays. All right. So we're gonna go a little bit into this article. It says family on Snap worry about not feeding themselves, but also their pets. All right. And look, we coming into the times that with Jacob's trouble and stuff like that. All right. While you have all them things happening, you got this famine. All right. One of the subjects that I always like to talk about is the famine, because there's a famine that's coming, and you know, you're not gonna be able to escape these things that's going to happen. All right. There is no Because a lot of people, what they do is, they stack up on a lot of food and things of that nature, and end up being like, well, I can use this food, or I can, ain't nobody gonna come and get this food from me. I got my guns, I got my food stashed away, but it's people just looking for the hunters. It's hunters looking for hunters. You see what I'm saying? If you don't have Yahweh Bashim Yahweh to be your tower, matter of fact, let's get that. All right, let's get that. All right. Let me just type it in like this. So yeah, man, if you don't have a covering, and your covering is supposed to be Yahweh Shai, all right. This is y'all can get that one too. This is Psalms 18 and verse 2. It says, the Lord Yahweh is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, right? It says, my power, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler and the horn of my salvation, all right, and my high tower. All right. So he is he's the one that protect us when we going through things. All right. Let me get another one. This is Psalms 144 and and 2. It says, my goodness and my fortress, my high tower and my deliverer, my shield, and he is whom I'll trust, who subdueth my people under me. All right. So hey, look, all right, you gotta be all right with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, that's the only way how you gonna, make it up out of this place. Okay. Um. So yeah, now let me go back to this article. All right, which is on Yahoo.com. I'll show you all right quick, just what it's called or whatever the case may be. All right. I know it might be backwards for y'all, but it says families on no snap. All right. Families on snap. All right. Families on snap worry about not just feeding themselves but also their pets. All right. And hey, look, I got my peoples, they got some animals, and they go through hell with taking care of them. You know, um, the animal that I have, it don't, it really don't cost much to feed. It's, this that's why I like um, reptiles instead of like having like dogs and cats and stuff. Dogs could be your best friend. You know, But at the end of the day, they cost a lot, all right, and they poop a lot, all right. So that's a lot you gotta take care of. It's a big responsibility. Though they can, they can definitely save your life, all right. But the dog food, dog food went up, dog prices went up, and everything. But this article, it says this is in New Orleans, AP. It says Sarah Longwitz has fretted over feeding not just her two teenage daughters. And usually with teenage daughters, they're in the house all day. So, whatever snack is in there, they're going to get. It says her two teenage daughters with SNAP payments disrupt by her family cat and two dogs. Help has arrived for now, she says, after Illinois nonprofit arranged for volunteers to give her a grocery gift card last week to buy food for herself and her pets. It's among the growing efforts to help the struggling pet owners stretch their dollars as supplement nutrition assistance programs payments go out late during a government shutdown. All right, so pets is struggling. All right, in a minute, you people gonna start eating your pets. You're gonna start eating you're gonna start eating your dogs, your cats, your snakes, your rabbits, your gerbils, your I gotta take a piece off this top, man. What else? And everything else. All right, whatever it is, and even let me get a couple. Let me get a couple. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go to second Esdras. I'm just gonna go ahead and go to second Esdras. I want to see where I want to go to first. All right, this is Second Ezra chapter 15 and 1. It says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. All right, Yahweh Shai. All right, now when you go down to verse 5, it says, Behold, saith the Lord, it says, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, and death and destruction. All right, so that's all coming. All right, you already see Jake getting locked up by ICE. You see everything that's going on with the food. All right, the food, mainly the beef prices, are through the roof. People are starting to experience the beef prices. Um, so it's certain things that people starting to notice that and plus this place is finished, man. This place ain't all what is cracked up to be, and people starting to see it. The other nations like, hey, they want to go to America and get the benefits of America, but America is now fucking they nation, as it were. They backdoored they nation. If they backdoored the children of Israel, which are the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know what I'm saying? What makes you think, these devils can do anything they want? Right? Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So they gonna try to do whatever they can to put a squeeze on you. All right, they're gonna do whatever they can to put a squeeze on you because they want to see how many people gonna be subservient. All right, they want to, or a submission. All right, they want to see how many people gonna be submissive to their plans because ultimately, um, it's only one or two ways a lot of this going, how I can see a lot of people falling out this thing, all right, falling out the truth. People's stomachs touching. All right. Well, what I mean by that is that your stomach is wrapping around your spinal cord. All right. That's when famine. All right. When that's happening, when you got this famine that's going on, people get very desperate and they're willing to do some wild things for food. All right. You know how people say sell some strange for a little piece of change? Well, people gonna be doing that just to put something on their stomach. And a lot of people not gonna care about what you look like, who you are, what your status is, because at that time you don't have no more status when the dollar is all the way gone, and you know. But then they gonna have their cure for it is the MOTB, all right, micro C hip, all right, and do not take that implantable device, Revelation 13 and 16, all right. But they're going to do whatever they can to put a squeeze on you, all right. They want to put this squeeze on you. All right. And like what I say, I can see the people that's falling out is the people who are willing to be uh uh that's gonna fall out because of famine or this, and then going with that, I guess you can couple that with patience because basically you ain't got no patience to wait. You ain't got no patience to wait. My bad, I was looking at something. You ain't got no patience to wait on Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah to return. So you like, man, forget this, man. I need something to eat. I'm gonna die. But you would have never known because maybe it was 5 minutes from there, maybe it was another hour from that time that you had ended up taking that. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord could have already had you a meal and stuff like that. You would have had a meal, you know what I'm saying, on your stomach or something like that. But you didn't took the implantable device. All right, now you about to get destroyed. All right, and it's about to be grievous, and you're about to fit that torment from all that wickedness, all the iniquity, all right, all the sin that you built up. That's what iniquity is. It's a buildup of sin. And now, not only with that, right, that you have built up, you got all of your sins built up, and then you took the implantable device on top of it. So that's why it says, let me get it. This is Zechariah, all right, chapter 13 and verse 8. It says, And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, two parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. All right, so two thirds of our people gotta go. All right, our people gotta go because they wicked. All right, they wicked, man, and like what I said, that famine is gonna have a lot of people end up, you know, being like, man, they ain't gonna be thinking about the Lord. They're gonna be like, man, I'm trying to eat, yo. Like, I wonder who next door. It says that, and which we're gonna get into a little bit, I guess, as well. But let's go back to that article. That article was pretty sweet. All right. It says, let me go down to where I was. It says, this is a quote. It says, I don't even make enough money for all my bills, let alone groceries, says Longwitz, a 46-year-old auto parts store worker. So she's just an auto parts store worker, bro. She's getting paid like, come on, dude. She's getting paid like $18, maybe. People, hey, look, man, this place is cooked. There is no jobs. All right. You got to know, if you ever notice something, there is no jobs. If you don't have jobs, you don't have workers. If you don't have workers, how is the business going to stay above float? They're not. That's the thing. They're not. All right. So a lot of people go out of business and a lot of people lose jobs. Like what you got with this ATC, this air traffic control shit. All right, you got all these people with this air traffic control. They're not getting paid, so they're not going to work. And a lot of people are starting to realize that, wait a minute, why should I have to work for things that God put on this planet for free? And people also starting to realize that them blue and white motherfuckers with them big ass ears and them hook noses, all right, you know who I'm talking about. You fucking Amalekites and you Edomites, all right, you so-called white people, all right, y'all then ran this place in wickedness. All right. And you got all these people and they starting to find out about you. They know that you ain't the people of the Lord, because the people of the Lord wouldn't have no voice in these days and or no power or anything. All right. So that lets you know who the wicked is. And I already went through the archaeological evidence and the coins and the artifacts or whatever you want to call it. All right. We already have evidence of things like that. All right. But a lot of people starting to realize that, hey, yo, this life is bogus. I wake up, I go to a 9 to 5. I do that basically, I do a 9 to 5 until I'm about 50 or 60. You know what I'm saying? And then, because usually like in your 30s, 20s and 30s, you try to work on your business. You try to get self-sufficient in a way. It's impossible to do that here. They just force you to be a slave. The pay isn't going up. He said, "Oh, the average pay is up to $20 an hour. Where the fuck? Where the fuck?" You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you got all these teenagers and all these upcoming adults, all right, and young adults, as myself, who's applying themselves to these different jobs. People not getting callbacks. People are getting interviews. And getting an interview ain't the problem. It's getting a job that's the problem. All right, so it's leaving people in this, hey, I can't get a job. That means if I don't get a job, I can't eat. All right. And then the people, let's say if you are with somebody, just like these two daughters in this situation, these two teenage daughters, all right, by this 46-year-old woman. Where's her man? This is when you need a man, women. But where's the father in this? I don't know. But when you got these two daughters, it's gonna be a lot of emotions in the air. It's three women in the house, dude. Hey, I've been around them type of situations. It's not lovely. All right, so you got three women in the house. They all got their cycles at a different time, and maybe the 46-year-old don't have one anymore. But it's a lot of emotions. It's a lot of they can't get jobs. I'm pretty sure they can't. They're teenagers. They're fucked. So the mom is basically trying to uh 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 you know, ration out food for the dog and the two kids. And in this situation, it's looking like if they get rid of the dog, well, maybe the mom might or the daughters might have more food in their stomachs. People are coming to these towns. It's getting bad, bro. It's getting bad. All right, I'm gonna read a little bit more of this though. We're gonna go into another one. It says the Supreme Court on Friday granted the Trump administration emergency appeal to temporarily block a court order to fully fund SNAP food aid payments amid the government shutdown. Even though residents in more than a half dozen states already received the funds, the uncertainty is placing a strain on the shelves. All right, on shelters. All right. So it says even though Trump basically granted an emergency appeal to temporarily block the court order to fully fund. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because Trump wasn't going with it. He said, "I don't give a fuck," and Trump don't give a fuck. You know. It says although SNAP can't be used for pet food, you know niggas used to do collateral. The food assistance program helps low income families free up money to purchase kibble. It's also common for owners to supplement or entirely feed their animals human food. Yeah, because yeah, 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 yeah. What you think? What you think these dogs? You think these dogs be eating? Hey, look, man. Let's be real. You motherfuckers that got them premium dog food and shit. That's like 60, $70 a bag. You're fucking insane if you're giving that to your dog. All right, but it's actually good that you're giving it to your dog, but it's all bullshit anyway. None of this shit down here is of any good substance. Everything is defiled and polluted. You know, so your dog. I'm pretty sure. I mean, you know, I'm pretty sure if I gave my dogs the best quality food or my people's dogs the best quality food, they probably would live another 1 or 2 years. But these animals, you know, oh, it had switched up on me. My bad, y'all. The thing had switched up. But yeah, so it's just coming to a time that people are like, man, well, shit, you know, I give my dog some scraps or I give him some spam mixed up with a little bit of bologna. You know what I'm saying? They giving their dogs that. Like me, of course, you know, I always gave my dog scraps. They go some piece of crust, you know. I ain't gonna fuck with this bag of chips. They go a bag of chips. That's just me. That's just me. That's just me. I can do whatever the fuck I want with my animals. All right. Rather if it was that, rather if it was uh I don't know, yo. Rather if it was bread or anything like that. Like it is what it is, you know. Anyway, going back to the article. So these people are really struggling in America, all right, in this hellhole, right? All right, going back to the article, it says although SNAP can't be used for pet food, the food assistance program helps low income families free up money to purchase kibbles to purchase kibble. All right, everybody know kibble. Kibble is for your cats, kibbles and bits, you know, kibble. It's also common for owners to supplement or entirely feed their animals human food that was purchased using SNAP, says Stephanie Hicks, executive director for care for pets, the Rockford, Illinois nonprofit that helped Longwitz and others. Some volunteers walked the grocery aisles with struggling pet owners. The Humane World for Animals, formerly the Humane Society of the United States, estimates that more than 20 million pets live in poverty. Yeah, 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 yeah. And guess who a lot of people be in poverty is? Jake. Guess who a lot of people that's on Section 8? Keisha. Who be having these dogs? Keisha. All right, but a lot of these SNAP benefits and stuff like that go to these you know, that go to these Edomites and Amalekites. Anyway, it's just a beautiful thing to see that these motherfuckers are struggling, man. It says economic strain is one of the leading reasons animals are surrendered to shelters. Spokespersons said, yeah, because they can't take care of them. They can't afford to feed them anymore. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. All right. So that's one article. All right, that's one article of today. Let's see if we can get another one. Then we'll probably close out. Um, and I'm still gonna go to that second Esdras, the 16th chapter. I just want to see what else is going on in the news right now, because we've been telling y'all, man, from the elder apostles on down that these times that people going into, man, it's rough out here. You know, hold on, let me see what else I can get though. Right, a car fleeing police slams into a bar In Florida, killing 4 and injuring 11. I'll walk through that right quick. A car fleeing police slams into a bar in Florida, killing 4 and injuring 11. It says a speeding car fleeing police slammed into a car crowded bar early Saturday, killing 4 and injuring 11 in a historic district of Tampa, Florida, that is known for its nightlife and tourists. You ain't supposed to be out there at night. Why the fuck do Jake want to party and shit like that so much, man? Jake love partying and shit. Jake, we are not in the times to be partying. We are not in the times to be any of them things, man. Take your ass home. Take your ass home, man. Jake don't understand, bro. We in some serious times. Ain't nothing out there but chaos. And you women that go out at night, I really don't. I just be like, why? 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 What is out there? You know? Reading on. All right, it says a speeding car fleeing. Police slammed. Okay. It says an air patrol unit spotted the silver sedan driving recklessly on the freeway about 12:40 a.m. after it was seen street racing. Okay, they were street racing in another neighborhood, so they was drinking. They was street racing. I can see that. The Tampa Police Department said in a statement, well, maybe they wasn't drinking. Yeah, they wasn't drinking. But if you're street racing, I'm just saying. The Florida Highway Patrol caught up with the vehicle and tried to perform a pit maneuver, which involves dumping the rear fender to cause a spinout, but it was unsuccessful. Highway Patrol officers disengaged as the vehicle sped towards historic Ybor City near downtown, police said, and ultimately the driver lost control and hit more than a dozen outside of the bar. See? Just like that. All right. Let me get a scripture for that one. This is Isaiah 45 and 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things, man. The Lord can take your life whenever He wants to, man. All right, He can take it whenever He wants. You know, He can do whatever He wants whenever He want to, man. All right, right. So let's get another one. That was a quick one. Let's see if we can get another one. Right. Uh, they're not talking about that much. Trying to see what else I want to go into. This one right here. Dozens. This a big one, y'all. Dozens arrested in a Phoenix anti-human trafficking operation. What the fuck is an anti-human operation? I'm gonna play it, but I ain't gonna show it. 63 people been arrested. Hold on.
Bus near Grand Canyon University. Dozens of people arrested as part of a months-long operation. This was a joint effort between GCU, Phoenix Police, Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, and the County Attorney's Office. Since August, 53 suspects have been arrested and charged with prostitution, including 15 Wednesday night alone. Detectives say they also rescued an underage girl who they believe was being trafficked. The undercover operation targeted an area known as the Blade along 27th Avenue between Indian School and Northern.
So y'all heard it. I'll go more into it though, just in case you ain't read catch it all the way. It says 63 people have been arrested for alleged prostitution in Phoenix. According to Grand Canyon University officials, says the arrests were made along 27th Avenue. The 27th Avenue has become an epicenter for prostitution activity in Phoenix. Damn it. An area known nationally as the track or the blade for the proclivity of sex trafficking in the area, read a portion of GCU's statement on the arrest. Phoenix officials with Grand Canyon University said on November 6th that their police department was involved in a multi-agency effort to target prostitution and human trafficking. And look, man, it's gonna be a lot of that shit happening. It's more and more of this shit happening day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. People can't make it this way. Like what I said, that famine itself take a nigga out. All right, I'm about to wrap this up. Let me see what else they got. I want to see what else they have on this famine subject in 2 seconds. All right, that's what the times we in, man. It's the times of famine. And like what I said, it's 42.3 or 42.4% of Americans 2025 that are obese. And 20 to 30% are kids. Within that, yeah, you need to stop feeding your kids those things. There was somebody today, and I ain't the biggest guy at all. And they was on TikTok, and people just post things to get some advice. And he was like, uh, and this was a dude, he was a white boy though, or I don't know. It was just a post. Maybe he was white, I don't know. But he was like, man, I'm 5'9". He was my height, but he said he was 5'9", and he was like 110 or 115 pounds. I said, God damn. I said, boy, your ass. I'm like, nah, man, you gotta gain some weight. The first thing I was thinking was, and he was looking for some advice. But I was like, man, the only thing I can think, because I'm 140 and I'm 5'9", I would feel, I'm like a fly, so I'm thinking like, man, the only thing that you can do is, hey, man, push ups, sit ups, hey, you basically do your calisthenics, try to do your calisthenics 3 times a week, 3, 4 times a week. And, I still eat lean, rice, with some chicken, you know, a lot of people say, times getting so rough that people been coming up with these little $10 quick meals that you can make by going to Dollar General, Family Dollar, Save a Lot, things like that. Just like at a store, at a quick dollar store that you can make for in between like maybe 10, no more than $15. You can make stuffed shells and shit like that. But I was telling the dude, I was like, well, shit, you can have some boneless, skinless chicken breasts, some rice and some vegetables, man, and just do that. Like, you can gain weight off of that. If you, of course, if you want some protein and stuff like that while you're going to the gym and all that extra stuff. But, you know, hey man, the times we going into, it ain't gonna really be a gym. So, brothers out there that got a problem with um um not necessarily, yeah, they got a problem with losing weight. Hey man, it's the best times, man. You can go ahead, work out at home. All right. It ain't really that much food. So that's there go one thing, you can just start there. Um, but yeah, I had to tell him, I was like, well shit, only thing you can do, because I used to work out and I think I used to be like maybe 15, 20 more pounds than what I am now. And that felt good. I was more like Crawford. Crawford like what, 160, 5'9". So yeah, that felt like a good weight. But I lost a lot of weight. I got sick, dealing with shit, dealing with life, but we coming into the times, man, when food is getting rationed out, you can't really be like, oh, I want more and stuff like that. But a lot of people going to want more. It's gonna be the fat motherfuckers that want more. It's gonna be people who like that mom. Or it's gonna be them type of people to be like, shit, well, I need some more food for my dog. I need some more food for my daughter. I need some more food for me, because I'm fat as fuck. You know what I'm saying? That's how people gonna be, and they're gonna be like, man, I want it and I need to have it. All right. So I'm gonna go to the second Ezra's, the 16th chapter. All right. I'm trying to see where I'm gonna start at. This is Second Ezra chapter 16 and verse and 13. All right. It says, for strong is the right hand and that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth and sharp are sharp and shall not miss. All right, this is talking about this place, America, being destroyed. It says, when they began to be shot into the ends of the world, it says, behold, the plagues are sent. The plagues are sent. All right, it says, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. All right. It says the fire is kindled and shall not be out till it consume the foundations of the earth, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Okay, and our people don't know what to do, which is why we out there on the highways and byways. Sometimes, um, like you got the brothers GMS Cleveland. I'm in Warrensville, so you got brothers GMS Cleveland. I believe they went out yesterday. Um, they go out every Saturday. All right, they go out every Saturday. I go out every Sunday. Okay. Um, but you got brothers out there. You got brothers all across the planet, man. I seen brothers in Italy. I seen brothers in Jamaica. I seen brothers in Australia. All right, you got brothers all across this place. So you cannot say that you haven't heard this message from the prophets. All right, it's true prophets. The true prophets. All right, being the elders and apostles, a great millstone, the brothers who teaches that likewise doctrine. Okay, we go out there and to let you know these things because we can see it. We already in the midst of it. We've been saying it to you for so long. It's like, Jake, when you gonna repent? Because the famine is here, and Jake just like playing around too fucking much, man. You know. Let me see something. Let's see if I can get one more thing. This is an article. I'm gonna read a little bit of this. All right, they said it came out like 32 minutes ago. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start at this one paragraph. It ain't really that long. I'll try to get through it pretty fast for y'all. It says SNAP benefits have been in limbo as the federal government continues to be shut down over the last several days. Judges have ordered those SNAP benefits to be released to beneficiaries, only to have those orders challenged and later blocked by the Supreme Court. All right, which we just basically found out. It is despicable. The Trump administration will go to block the food assistance for 42 million Americans because he don't give a fuck, including families, seniors, veterans, and active military. It said Attorney General Nessel. It says thanks to the quick, like where it says they shall not regard a kings or princes, because people gonna get fed up. They're gonna be like, look, man, you already got Keisha making videos talking about, well, we gonna take what we want anyway. But they can, Jake, once you leave your house, they already got cameras on you. It says thanks to the quick actions from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, and Michiganders uh, were able to receive their benefits this week, but access to food is not a legal game. I will not be deterred despite the president's continued maneuverings, and will continue to fight until every qualified resident receives the benefits they rightly deserve. And that's what was pointing to the actions by Trump administration as advocating against feeding Americans. The Michigan Department of Attorney General claims that on October 24th, the Trump administration chose to stop SNAP funding despite billions of dollars uh, available to use. Then in November, the Trump administration chose to partially fund SNAP before they chose to twice appeal judges' orders to release SNAP funding to beneficiaries. The Michigan Department to Attorney General said in a release, these choices by the administration put Americans last and literally takes the food off of American dinner tables. Nussle continued, these choices unnecessarily force our family, friends, and neighbors to prioritize between necessities like buying groceries or filling prescriptions. Yeah, because it's like, whoa, what do I do? Do I feed my daughter or do I take my blood medication? Do I feed my son or do I pay my light bill? Right? Right? This how this devil got you. He got you in the limbo, nigga. What you gonna do? Jake, you can't ain't nothing like look. He got you, he got you by the balls. He got you by the balls, you know? Um, yeah, cause it's like, and the ones, like what I said, going back to the one lady. Do I feed my daughter or do I get my I don't know, my STD medication? Do I get my diabetic medicine? You know what I'm saying? Or do I feed my grandma tomorrow? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But Jake got everybody into a squeeze this like, because like what everybody keeps saying, you keep playing with people's food, people start to get desperate. And the spirit been on me for the last couple of years that I've been fasting so much that, like I was telling one of my peoples, and I ain't proud to say it at all, but if you give me a pizza, right, it's a pizza that you could get for Audie's, from Audie's. A pizza from Audie's, thin crust, whatever, any thin crust or whatever crust, is in between $3.50 to about a good $5 to $6, depending on what you get. Now, of course, I love the ones with vegetables. I can't eat, all the ones with meat is just basically terrible. All right, because first of all, it's unlawful unless it's chicken or some type of beef product. So I usually get like the veggie pizzas, but the veggie pizza be like this big, like this is a newspaper. I like getting newspapers, and I use these as well for my snakes. But a box of pizza is about this big, right? Right? A box of pizza is about a 1 by 1, right? Or maybe like more like a 14-inch by 14-inch box. You get what I'm saying? I can take that, I can split it into fours, and I can last 4 days off that, and maybe about 2-3 bottles of water. It's a lot of people that's not used to that. There's a lot of people that's not used to eating uh um uh ramen noodles for 3 days. Or it's not people used to um eating peanut butter and jelly sandwich, having a loaf of bread, and you gotta hold on to that loaf of bread for the week. All right. Only eating sandwiches, only eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. All right. That's why the spirit, through the spirit, I've been saying, which I'm gonna do, but through the spirit, like they be saying, brothers be saying, these women need to learn how to make bread. Shit, us brothers do too. Our brothers need to learn how to fucking make bread and shit. Because, hey man, the brothers they ain't got no women. We ain't got. Well, I ain't got none. I can only speak for myself. I don't have no chick or anything like that. So, I make all my shit. I can feed my motherfucking self. I can survive, long as the Lord allow me to survive, as long as that is. But I'm saying that because I say that to say that I say that to say this is that when this famine, all right, when it get worse and worse, Jake is going, he's going to get very cannibalistic. All right, he's going to go into cannibalism. All right, Jake and Esau, we can, Esau already eat his meat already uncooked anyway. All right, so we coming into some times, man. It's about to be, we already entering into them. We already here. Basically, it's only gonna get worse from here. And the Jakes, like I said, I did the one thing on what happens if a big person was to lose a tremendous amount of weight, or he didn't have no access to food for a week. What would happen to the body of a fat person? Look things like that up. You got Chat GBT and Google for a reason. Look that shit up. You'll be surprised. A lot of motherfuckers literally die. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers will start losing weight and being like, hey, yo, like, you just gonna have people really being like, a lot of people not gonna want to starve, so they rather blow off their own head. Right? Let's get that one scripture that Bishop Manatazah always be saying about. I think it's Lamentations 4. Yep. This is Lamentations chapter 4, verse 9. It says, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away. All right, pine away. Woo. It says, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. That's already here. That's already happening. All right. It's already happening. And the more people start to be like, oh, I want this, I want that, the more lockdowns. All right, the more this devil end up. All right, whenever Jake start to be like, oh, but nigga, I want this, and he starts to get aggressive, Esau secretly, but he do it right in front of your face on the news. You see it on the news every time and time again. What he does is he take his military and his little army, his teeth, he take it and he move it into your areas. So then when you go outside, you start seeing the military. When you go into the store, you start seeing the cops and shit like that. Everywhere you go, you see this devil. You see this devil moving his people around you. The more people start getting aggravated and things that they can't get, more people start getting mad. Okay, oppression makes a wise man mad, right? So people start to get aggravated. But if you don't have First of all, if you don't have Yahweh Shimi Awashah, you ain't gonna, you just gonna be completely out of the loop. But that's why Yahweh Shimi Awashah teaches us discipline and patience. All right, discipline and patience. We must have. There's no excuse. All right. I want to get this in the NLT, Lamentations 4 and 9. It says in the NLT, Lamentations 4 and 9, those killed by the sword are better off than those who die of hunger. Starving, they waste away for lack of food from the fields. All right. So, with all this food crisis and stuff like that going on, um, it gets worse and worse. The people not really wanting to work for the companies, even though they can't work for the company because nobody's hiring. But even if they was to get hired, you're not getting what it's worth. It's really not even worth it. People have to work 3 or 4 jobs anyway just to pay for a single fucking house. For a two, I think you gotta have 3 or 4 jobs to pay for a 2 bedroom apartment. Yeah, about 6 years ago, I got me an apartment 2 bedroom for $750. I was living. That shit changed so motherfucking quick, you know. But yeah, man, So yeah, this devil man, he making it, and with the people, I want to say this before I close, but with the people that's, um, I'm gonna say you females, and you females, I don't like what I said, man. I don't know what y'all gonna do when y'all can't get y'all feminine products, and then when it's coming to like the older people and having to have their medication, or like you got babies that the prenatal care, they're not able to get that anymore. So now you got these females who's like, I don't know what to do. So it's either I'm gonna have to start, which they already doing. A lot of these women are already selling a box. All right, so they selling a box so they have a roof over their head, like what you see right now. They selling a box in order to live underneath you. All right, just for food, All right. But soon enough, shit, you may be food. Like I just did a lesson on the one dude was saying, imagine fighting somebody and they're fighting to eat you. They're not fighting to be like you cause them harm or some type of revenge or you got something. Yeah, you do got something that they want. They want you. They want your flesh. You know what I'm saying? So we coming into them times, and I cannot stress this more and more enough, man. Brothers is not in shape. All right, and I ain't just cause I'm a little guy. All right, I ain't in the best shape, but the brothers is this bigger. All right, make sure, man, you doing some cardio. All right, make sure you doing your cardio. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're not doing that much exercising, man, for yourself, because the scriptures does say bodily exercise profiteth little, but watch your diet, man. Watch your diet. Start learning how to fast more. Start being like, hey, I'm gonna just probably eat only once today. Don't eat 3, 4 times in a day. Don't eat. Don't just don't do it. There's no reason to eat that much anyway. Usually in the morning, your body is just now waking up. So the things that you usually do, what's the first thing you do when you wake up or at 3 o'clock in the morning? What you do? What's the first thing you reach for? You reach for water, right? Then after that, what people usually do in the morning, they usually get something. If they make breakfast, it's not really always a biscuit or anything like that. It might be something light like a croissant and an egg. You know what I'm saying? You know, eat but eat light. You know what I'm saying? And then as well, when you eat light, when you drink your teas, when you drink your water and stuff like that, even though this water, you know what I'm saying, everything polluted, but you try to eat, you know, I guess the best among the shit that you can. But yeah, man, this famine is here. All right, this famine is already here and it's going to get worse. All right, and soon enough you're going to, just like when you see the story, she don't even know if she want to get rid of her animals or not because she like, I love my daughters, and hey, that might come a time for their daughters to she might go to her daughters and be like, hey, I might need you to do something so you can get some money, legal or illegal. People, like what the scriptures say, they not going to regard their kings and princes. All right. So with that, man, I just want to make this, pretty much quick. I reading, I didn't know I was gonna go this long or anything like that. I don't know what the title is gonna be. It's probably gonna be a sit down, camp sit down famine. Okay, something like that. Camp sit down famine snap, something like that. I just want to go through a couple articles, man, and just bring out a couple scriptures or whatever. Lord willing, I'll be able to be out there next week on Sunday. Like what I said, it is not sunny out there. It's raining and it's frigid. All right. It's supposed to get worse and it's a storm coming. All right. And it's already the beginning of it. So with that, Lord willing, man, y'all was edified. I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Until next time, Shalom.